Welcome to Flinda Tech Lab. This is a free course by the YouTube algorithm. Please comment, like, share and subscribe to the channel in helping to create more of these kind of tutorials. Just sit back, relax and enjoy the training. Let's dive into the tutorial. Now that we were able to work on the highest and the lowest marks and also able to go through some of the functions using the operations. There's one thing also that I want to talk about. That is, if you want to maybe forget how to do those summation, average and all those things, we also have the auto sum here that you first have to click where you want your answer should be. So if this one want to look for the total, you can click where the total is. Just go to your, we have what we call sum, average, count number. We can use count number, maximum, and also the mean, average. All those things are here. So we have more of the functions. When you click, you get a lot of them. A lot of the functions that is here. So you just do more studies on that. Let me just do an example. When I click on the sum, see that it's trying to add that range for me. Thought I want to add from the top to the down, and it has given sum into brackets M1 column M5 into bracket. So you take note of this. Sometimes when you go here you don't know what to do, it's going to frustrate you. So it will be good that you make sure you keep the formulas how we've gone through initially, so that you will not be going there to click and also mixing up the whole thing for you. But if you know how to use that place, you are good to go. You can study on it well and also apply how to go by that method as well. Now the next thing is maybe you may be asked to use your record to represent, or the average of those students, their scores to represent a chart. It can be a bar chart, histogram and all those things, whatever it is. You have to know how to go about it. So maybe they say the name of the student and their average. Most of the time we depend on two things, where we are going to get the x and the y axis, where you are going to use that one to fill. If it is going to be in a pie chart, you will see how it will go. So we have different type of chart that we have there. So what you have to do is you highlight the record that you need. You need only the average. You are not to add the word itself to it. You are to only add the figures. So up to somewhere here. Then you hold the control. When you finish highlighting this one, let your hand be on the control. Come to the name, because we want only the name of the student and their record that they had. You are not to add the word name to. You have to start from the name of the first student to the last one. So we are going to use these two things to get our chart. When you finish highlighting, just go to insert. The insert ribbon. We have different kind of charts that are here. Which of them do you want to prefer? When you click on this arrow, it will give you a lot of them. We have the drop down. You have different type of pie chart. When you come to this one, also the scattered. When you click on the arrow, they are going to give you a lot of different charts that are there. But I prefer to go with only. I want to use the 3D column or the 2D. Let me use the 2D. I don't want this one. Let me just use the 2D so I will see how it goes. So you can see as soon as I put the pointer on it, it displays the way the chart is going to be for me. So we can put it on this. This is how this one looks. I don't like this way. If I check this one, I don't like this way. Let me just go by this way. So when I click on this, I just click on it to confirm. We have different layouts of them. How you want it to be, you can select, and background, how you want it to be. Just pick the layout or the chart styles from this side. But I just want this simple one. It's okay for me. Now what you have to do, where the title is, the title, you click over there, click inside again, then you raise what is there, because you have to give a title to the chart. We can name it as student exams chart, so that if anybody says it knows what it is about. Student exams score chart or whatever it is. Student exam scores chart. You click outside. So when you look at it, you can see that the names of the students are the down and the marks that they had. That is what is being used to project to get this bar chart. You can move this in anywhere that you want it to be. Just put a pointer on it. This plus sign is used for moving. Move it somewhere and position it in a place that you want it to be, so that you can save the work as well. So this is how we go by the chart. If you have been asked to insert a chart, use your chart to represent or to present the work that you did. You go by this method to present the chart. Also, you may be asked to use some specific chart. Specific chart. If you have been asked to use the pie chart, you go by the pie chart. If you have been asked to use the bar chart, you go by the bar chart. That is the bar chart. So take note of those two things. Whatever, if you are just being asked to just use it to draw a chart, then you can take any one of them. Now let's move on to how to sort data. When I talk about sorting of data, that is putting it in order, either in alphabetical order or should be from the highest to lowest. It can be a number, whatever it is. So always we just highlight one column or a row. That's how we used to sort it. We don't highlight 2, 3 more columns that you want to sort. It's supposed to be the same thing within the same lane. That's what we sort out. So I want to sort the arrangement of the name. Maybe I want these names all should be in alphabetical order. We come to where we have the filter, sort filter. So you click on sort and filter. I can say you should sort it A to Z. When I select A to Z, meaning it's going to be in alphabetical order. That is the A to Z. When I take something like Z to A, it's going to be from Z in that order to the A. That's how it is. Then the customer can also do my changes over there. But let me just try with the wizard aspect and see. So let's expand the selection. So you can see what happened here. For the names here has changed. The way it's supposed to be, it has changed in that order. So the first one, the A, all the A's comes in that order to the last one. So that's how it goes. And as it changes, you can see it affects the changes or the calculations we did here. So sometimes you have to watch what you want to sort. I'm just using the alphabet to do that. So if you are done, you can just quickly go back and use the undo to bring your work to the way it was. This one is like I'm highlighting the whole thing. Let me just work with pulling the names that is there. So we just go to alphabetical order. Just continue with only the column selected. So you can see you change only this one. The figures, those things are ordered, but only the names that change. But when you use the expand, it is going to change the whole thing. This one, you can see the A, B, actually, it is in alphabetical order. When I change it back to Z to E, that is. So just continue with only the current selection. So you can see Y, Y, K, and it change the whole thing upside down. So that's how we sort. That is the sorting, arranging. When you're talking about sorting, arranging order, you can do it for any of these figures to arrange from the highest to lowest or lowest to highest. Because we select alphabet or letters, you can see that we had what we called Z to the Z to A or A to C. So if I'm to go with any of these figures here, when you go to the custom, you have to get see that it changed to sort smallest to largest and largest to what smallest. So that's how it goes about. So take note of that. You can sort the numbers, you can sort the alphabet that is there. It works. We also have what we call filtering. Now filtering, I can decide to highlight the whole cell. Then when we talk about filtering, meaning you want some specific things, and the one that you don't need, you just take them. That's what we call you filter. So you are taking the ones that you need and the ones that you don't need, you just give them. So if I'm to highlight all this work, to give me a selection, the ones that I need, the ones I don't need. You can see it highlights this portion for me. These are the records that is within the each. The ones that I don't need, I can just take them. I just take them out. And I click OK. You can see it has reduced all those ones. That's how it works. You should take those ones out for me. How many did I select? We have 2, 3. Let me go back again. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So when I click, see those informations all are gone. So this is what I had. So take note of how to filter what you want to filter. So this one is selected all the informations that is here. So just look for what you want. The ones you don't need, you take them out. That's how it works. You can highlight. Let me just highlight a few and let's apply it on it and see how that one also works. Sorting, you know that is in order. I can go to the sorting, also the custom. Then when you can select by column, sort on what you take the one. If it's cell or font color, then also A to Z or Z to E, similar to the other one. But let me complete. Let me work on the filter. So here it has positioned. It has given me the options to do any work to affect them. This one's going to start from I. F60, we have 111. Oh, let me undo. Let me just take the ICT so that we. So when I take this one, select all, you can see everything is off. That means I can't do anything to verify. I select some few of them. I can say this one should be there and click on OK. So you can see the ones that I select, the ones that the marks are there, that is what I want. The ones that I don't need, I only have to click on the sign to take them off. So if you don't need this one, just take this one off. I don't need this one. The ones that the marks are there, that is what will be seen or it will show. So take note of that. So this is how we go about how to filter for work. That is when I talk about value filtering, selecting what you want and taking out the ones you don't need. So go through, take your time, study the tutorial and practice it so that you will be good at it. I don't want to apply the changes, so let me just go to the undo and take my informations back to the way they are. Right. Now let's move on with the next lesson, that is how to format the text. As I told you that as soon as you finish applying all these things, the lines and those things, they are just helping you to be able to enter those informations into your record. So we are going to do some additional things after that. We will apply how to format the cells as well. Before we go to the formatting of cells, I want us to learn how to add, how to insert extra rows and columns. Maybe if you need additional rows or columns, and then how to delete rows and columns, then also renaming our worksheet or deleting a worksheet. So quickly, when we look at this, maybe we realize that we need additional subject to be added. So when you want to do something of that sort, what do you want to do? We want that subject to appear at where the D is, and the mask is supposed to go to the next column. So you need to come and just highlight this. When you highlight, you go to, we have our home. When you come under the home, we have the tools here. We have delete, we have insert, format, and what do you want to do? You want to insert. So you click on the insert. What do you want to insert? You have to know what you want to insert. Because I highlight a column, I need to come and select what the column. So when I click on it, that the space will be provided for me. So if I want to add something like English, I can type in English, then all the figures I'll put it to it. As soon as I start typing those figures, automatically, because since I use the cell names, these answers will be changing on each one to change the answers to the correct answers in that order. So you take note of that. That's the reason why we normally use the cell name. So if I'm to put some informations into this place, see the answers are changing. The answers keep on changing. So as we are doing, the chart is also moving. That's how this one works. So if you realize that, oh, guys, I forget to add one particular subject, this is how we insert additional columns to our work. Now also when you realize that no, this column is no more needed, I don't need, you've already added it before you came to do this work and you don't need it, you can delete it. So you just go to the top, you send your mouse pointer to the top. When you change to this arrow, just click on it and it will highlight the whole thing for you. You go to the top here, you have what you want to delete. What do you want to delete? Excuse me. What do you want to delete? We have deleting of cells, we have delete sheet column, then delete sheet. What we need is a column, so we just click on it to take them up for us. So you can see our figures and information all came back to the way they are. So this is how we insert a column to our work. If we need additional or an extra column to use to do or to perform additional calculations, this is how we do it. You don't need to go and start the whole typing again, or you don't need to cut this one and push them to one side. No, just highlight and go to the insert to place it where you want. The same thing applies with the names that we are typing here. There should be one name that should be something or index that is supposed to appear. That index is supposed to be, because it's in the order, that index is supposed to be on the row of 6, but we type AMA over there. What you do, just put your mouse pointer on the where the 6 is. Click, it will highlight that row for you. Go back to your insert at the top. You should know where the insert is. When you click on different tool, you will not get it there. The different ribbon, you will not get there. So you come to another home ribbon where we have all those tools under it. So we just go to the insert. What do you want to insert is a row. There is insert a sheet of row. So you can see that it will push the current one that is there, and that 6 will be a blank space for you to put a new person's name and age informations into it. So we take note of that. This one, when you start to enter it and you get to this side, some of the answers and uses will automatically fill those gaps for you. So if you want to delete this one also, you just go through the same procedure again. You have to delete. You want to clear a row, so you just take the row off. This is how we go about inserting extra rows and also columns. Now, as we are done with inserting of extra rows and columns, we will move on with how to rename the sheets, that's the worksheet, and also how to delete them. Now, our worksheet is what we call we have sheet 1, sheet 3, sheet 4. If you want to insert additional rows or columns, we have some words here that we'll be dealing with. You just click on this plus so that we have 4. When you want additional one, just click on it again, you get a 5. This is one of the ways of setting more worksheets for us to use. So we take note of it. The whole thing is what we call a book. So within the book, we have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of worksheet that is within it. So we take note of that. You should know the difference between the workbook and the worksheet. The worksheet is the one that we just This is one of them that we use. And the whole thing is what we call a workbook. Now, another way also of inserting this worksheet is when it comes to insert, you make sure where you want it to be. If you want it to appear here or to be at where the current is, you click the on the 5. So when I go to where the insert is, you have one insert a cell. I don't need a cell. I need one a sheet. So when I click on it, additional one will be added. So the 6th one will come to where that current one is showing. So this is how we insert a worksheet. So take note of that. So always you insert, if you want a cell to insert a cell is just a box. So you just go by the cell. If you want a row, just go by row. If you want to insert a whole sheet, you just go by that format. So this is how we insert a worksheet. The next one is how to rename it. How do we rename a worksheet? This one is 5. I can click on it. I want to rename this one. I can right click on this one. Just go to renew. Then the cursor is broken there. Then I can simply try sheet. I can give a name to it and just click outside. So I'm able to change the name of this worksheet. I can do the same thing to this one also. When I click on it, I can right click again. We have what we call rename. And what we call rename. It work. So it will depend on what you are doing. If maybe you are dealing with school, this one can be for class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4. All of them, the information will be on different sheet. If it is GHS, GHS1, GHS or SHS1, SHS2 in that order. If it's a product, maybe soap, Pepsodent, soap, maybe perfumes. Then the next one can be different objects based on their name and group all of them according to the way they are, so that when you are looking for any information and maybe soaps, you can get them. So all type of soaps will be within one particular sheet. Then maybe tin tomatoes can also be within one place, and the type of it, then either the can or the sachets one. So all those things are things that how you will be able to arrange your work so that it will be easy. If it is customers, maybe customers for tomatoes, you put them at one place. Customers for Omo, you put them for one place. So that when you are looking for their contact and their information and addresses, you can locate those ones easily. So that's how it goes. Our next thing is how to delete. Maybe I don't need this worksheet anymore. And then we're talking about how to insert. If we use this one, we can sometimes also right click on the worksheet, any of the worksheet there, so we have another one sheet that is in. So when this one is like another long process, you have to come and select the blank, click on OK for it to insert it for you. So it's a long process. Either use the plus sign here or use the insert here to do that. Now I want to delete this worksheet. We have all delete that is here. I delete. When I click on the drop down arrow, I can pick the delete a sheet to take it off. So the 7 is no more there. I can right click on it, go to delete to also take this one out for me. So this is how we delete them if you don't need them. So if you need additional one, you can continue inserting additional of what sheet. So take note of that. Now the next thing is, since we are able to now work with how to delete sheets and how to rename them, should be able to rename any of the sheets that are here, maybe GHS1, GHS2, GHS3, GHS4 in that order. Whatever product, you can give the name to them so that when you are looking for those information, it will be easy for you to get them. Now our next thing is formatting of cells. So I'll quickly move on to the cells that we work on. Now you see that we have what we call students. That's record of students. When I click, this particular one is only, and that was D2, but the rating has crossed towards G. If I click here, there's nothing. You can see the formula but nothing showing. If I click here, nothing showing. Just that this information here has entered into those places, but when you print, you're not going to get it that way. So what you have to do is we have to merge those cells so that when you are moving, you don't need to move so that the line will cross them. This line, when you print, you're not going to get them. But if you are to apply lines to your table, that's the table for this record that you have here, then you have to make sure that you merge some of those things so that when you apply the line, it will not show or it will not cross the written that is there. So what we do is you only come and click on this particular one. Since it's the heading, you can position it up to somewhere here where the I is. You click the D to drag to somewhere here. Then on top of it, we have what we call merge and center. You can click on the drop down arrow. We have merge and center, merge across, merge a cell. If you have to merge a cell, it's the same with the same. So you can say you should merge it, center it. After merging, to position it at the center. So if I click on this, you can see that those lines are off. If I don't need the merge, I can say on merge to take me back to the way it is. You get it. So this is how we go about the merging, but I want to merge it and center it. So it will merge and center it. Now we've also learned how to make our text bold, changing of font in Word. It's the same thing here. You can change the font you want to give to it. The font size if you want it to be big. You can use the one here, or you use the increasing font, you use the decreasing font as well. Here we have our left align. If you want to be at the left side, you can use it as center or justify. The right, any of them that you want, just go by them. Then we also have our underline. You can pick our underline from here. If you want to add, you pick that italic. If we want it to be bold, you can take this. Now to change the color of the text, we can also come to this one. What color do we prefer to use? I can take this color. It's like what we've gone through in Microsoft Word. That is the same thing that we are doing here. So when you come to the font, this thing, you can change the superscript and the subscript, or from this particular format cells property. So you can see how this one works here. So our next thing is that's the alignment. I talk about the alignment, left, right, center. These are all the same things that we've gone through in Word. So you make sure that that's the reason why when you are learning, you learn the application from step by step. So what you learn in Word, you'll be meeting some of these features here. So as soon as you get it, you don't need to go over those. So if you know that you haven't gone through the tutorial on the Microsoft Word, you can go through it, then take your time, study how we apply this format or cells, how we use the font, the alignment, the numbers, and all those things. So I'll be talking about some of them here. I'm just using the heading as an example. When we are done, we can apply it for the body itself. Now let me just do some example. Let's see, when you go to the file button, you go to print. Let's see our preview. You see that our work that we have here, the lines are not showing because those lines that are there are just guiding us to be able to input our information at the right places. So when you are done with your calculations and whatever you want to do, and you want those lines to appear, meaning you have to what? Insert them to apply those table works. So what we are going to do now, the formatting of cells is one of the key things that we are going to watch. So we have about 3-4 ways of getting our formatting of cells dialog box or the property. So what we need to do is, I want to apply those things to only the body, so I'll leave the heading down for now. So let me just take it from somewhere else. So you make sure you highlight the work from each heading to where the last distance. We can use the font, we can use the alignment type or the numbers type to get to where we want to go. Let me just use one of them, starting with the font. When you go to the format cells, we have normal, alignment, fonts, borders, fill, protect. These are the things that we are going to talk about. So the first one is the font. We all know about the font type. When I talk about the font type, the type of the way the written is going to be. So you just select, see our preview, this how you select this one, this is how the written is going to be on our table. Then the font styles. Do you want the text should be bold? Should it be italic, that is lines, bold and italic? And the font size, changing all the size of it. And what I just spoke about at the top here. That's how it goes. And what should be the color for it? We have the underline, and we can see it should underline single line, double line, but I don't want us to. If it is the heading, then we can underline it, but I don't want us to underline the text or the figures that we have here. So now, what color are you giving to the text? So you can say it should be green. So green will be okay. So you can see change green over here. If you want to strike through, you want to cancel any of those things. That means you highlight. By this one, we've highlighted all the words. So it's going to strike through each of the words, all the words in that order. So when you have to just take your time, highlight only one of the words. That strike through is just to help you. Maybe you want to draw a line across a figure, like a cancel, something of that sort. That's how it works. So I don't want to apply it to it, so I'll just leave them. When you just click on them one after that. When you click on them, click on OK to see how it changes or the way it applies to the figure or object you selected. So you can see what happened. Well, I changed the font size, I changed the type of the font type, and also the color. So this is how here it looks like. Now let me go back to that place again, the font. You click on this sign. We can do these changes from here, but I just want us to go through the wizard aspect to see how it works. Let me make this one back to 12 so that the written will be small for us. I think it's too small. Okay, and let me just change it from here. 14 will be okay. Then I can change the italic back so that it should be straight. It's difficult to see. Now, the next thing that we want to look at the figures that inside, since we are able to see how the fonts work. Seeing the font, we want to check the alignment. That is, we position it center, right, or justify. That is the general aspect. By the way we highlight the whole thing, I want us to apply only one side to see how it works. We can only highlight only the names. We can highlight where the names are. Then when we go to where the alignment is, we can say it should be at the center. That is when it is at the horizontal, because it's already horizontal. If the work is vertical this way, that's why you can change it to bottom or this. So since this one is already at horizontal level, we just change this one. Then we can change, we have the degree. How do we want the rotation to be? We can let it be into this angle, then rotation should be in 30, say, okay, 30 degrees, and click on OK. So you can see all the rotation has changed to that direction, 30 degrees. That's for the name. So you take note of that. This is how we change the direction or the orientation of a text. We can apply for all these things, but you can apply it in the way of selecting this specific one. If I want all this written here to change to the angle or 20, I can highlight all of them and change them back to 20 degrees. So let me just put this one as 15. I think 15 will be okay, so that will not stretch the whole work. So you can see how these ones look. So how you do your work to be attractive, that's one thing that we are to learn on the formatting. Now, the next thing I want us to talk about is the numbering. So we've done about the formatting, that's you changing the font color, and underlining your work and stuff. So if I'm to deal with the heading, I'll use the underline. So let me just consider this one. I want us to deal with the figures that are here in the written. So you highlight that one also. You go to number because that one is and the number. We can click here to get it, or we can click just here to get it and only change from the tab. That's here. So those 3-4 things will carry us to the same place, which is the format cell. Now we have what we call general. General means your work should be the way it was, like the way it was the 75-20 in that order. But when you go to where the numbers are, numbers also can be in different formats. We can have 75.00, which is having two decimal. You see, decimal places, not decimal places is 2. If you don't want it to be 2 or you can put 0, that will be there. As soon as you put 2, 1, 2, you are going to get 2 0. When you put 4, you get additional 0.4 zeros. By default, we normally go by the 0.2 zeros. So and we have the negative and the positive aspect. So if I'm to deal with these figures and I want to apply the decimal aspect, you just click on OK. It's going to bring those ones. So it's 75.0. So we are not dealing with money. If the aspect column where you are dealing with figures or money, then you can highlight those ones. But this one, since they are subjects, we can take them off, but we are just using them to learn. So you take note of that. We are just using them to learn how to apply decimal places to your figures. Let's go back to the next thing again. That is the currency. So this one, that is where you add currency symbols to your figures. So when you come here, we have the symbols. We have the sample over here and the decimal places. If you don't want the decimal places, as I said, you take it off. So you come to where the symbols are. Symbols are here. We have different kind of symbols, currency symbols. So you just scroll down, click on the scroll box, you drag it down. The currency symbol that you want to apply for it. Just go by that currency symbol. When I click on it, it will appear at the back of it. So that is how we go by applying or inserting currency symbols to our figures. Let me just take it back to the dollar and see it should be in the dollar currency symbol. When I take it, so the dollar one appears at the front. So it depends where they normally apply the country and how it applied its currency symbol. In Ghana symbol, I'll be creating a video on how to configure your own currency or put your currency into the system to be able to pick it for you. So that one it will be on another tutorial. So now let's move on to we are still dealing with the numbers, so let's just go to the same place again. We have accounting. Those ones is dealing with money, so you are just to change the symbol, that is the currency symbols and stuff. Now if you are dealing with date, let's assume you have a heading that is date that the employer employs its workers. It can be that date in that you start work, or your date of birth, on all those things. So if you have information that is written, the heading is date, or date of birth, or date employed, all those things, when you enter the date, we have a format that we use. If you want the date should be the long date, that should be the Wednesday, March, blah blah blah, with the way this information is long, you can go by that way. If you realize that no, you want a short date or time, you can go by the same thing. So this one is the date. So let me just take, I want a short date. This one will be okay for me. Because we selected numbers that are there, when I click, all these numbers will change to date. So what I said, so all these things has changed to date. If you have a heading that's called date, you only highlight only that heading. I will highlight just only that column. Then you apply these changes to. Don't highlight the whole word. This one we are just learning, that's why I use the whole thing. So we go back again. Your number, we have time. The same thing applies to time. We have long time and short time. I can decide to take this one. Click on OK. Since they are numbers, you set that to apply it to them. That one also, you can have a heading called reporting time. So they'll put all the time here, but maybe you using long time to be long format of time to be long. So what you do is you use the short format of time. That's where you can take this one. So meaning where the heading that time is, you are only to highlight only that column to the down. Then you apply these settings to it. So that this settings is only going to affect only that particular column and not the whole work. As I said, we are just using these figures here to learn. So that's why I highlight the whole thing. I just don't want to take it off so that I will not prolong the video. Now let's go to the percentage also. When you want to apply percentage sign, you can see the sample, the percentage sign is attached to. I can decide to take the decimal off so that it will be this way. Click on OK. So you can see this one has been added in this percentage. The percentage sign has been applied to all the figures that is here. So that one to the same thing. Always you take note of what you are dealing with. If you are being asked to work on or add percentage to some specific columns or subject or object, that's where you do it. You don't have to highlight the whole work where you have figures and things to apply it to them. No, the one that you are being asked or the one that you want to apply that one to, that's just highlight that column alone and position your percentage on them. You're still with numbers, so if you want fraction, I'll talk about some of them in NG. We have different type of fraction. We have, you see this one up to 1 digit, and this one to up to 2 digits. You can see how it is. This 1 1, this 2 2, this 3 3. So there are a lot of fractions. So how you want to convert your number that is there to, you can change them to that fraction. So you can see that where we have we did the CA, which is the average. The average, see that the average has been changed to a fraction. So this one too, that is 43 whole number 2/3. So the one that is not dividing, you can see those numbers has gone back to their normal default listing. So this one, those fractions, we normally apply them to when we divide some number and there's a remainder or there is a module. That's where it will give us the total number of time that it goes in, and the remaining that is attached. That's either 1/9 in that order. So we have different format of the fraction. It can be 2, 3 numbers fraction in that order. So when you go through that process, we take note of that. So I'll end on the numbers here. We talk about the alignment, the fonts, and now the next thing I want to talk about is what the borders and the fill. So before I do that, let me just take this thing back to the way it was. I want our watch to be how it looked before we start. Okay, I think that is it. Now, what we want to apply a table. So I told you this one, there's no editing that does not like a table. So highlight it to where you want it to be. Then we can use either any of the alignment or the font or the home or the number, any of them. Just click on this button. It will take you to where the format cells, or what we are doing, we are formatting the cell to be attractive. So we are now going to the borders. So the borders, we have lines, style of line. What style of line do you want to apply to your work? Maybe I want this one. Now after you selecting what color, if you want color for it, the rating service black, so I can decide to take blue color for it. The rating service green, so let me take blue color. Then as how we learn in Microsoft Word how to apply the lines to each of those borders. We have none, meaning we don't need any line. We have outline. Outline means we want the outer one. Then the inside one is supposed to give us all the lines that are inside, from left to right or top to bottom. If you want to take those lines out, you can also use the controllers that are here to take them off. If I want some to be here, I can just click on this. It will also set a line across. The way we are seeing this preview here, that's how when we click on OK, our work is going to be. Then if I want to take it off, just click on it again. If you click here, it will also cross it this way. If I want to take it off, I just click on it again to go off. If I want to take this line, just click on it to be out. If I click to bring it back for me. The same thing applies to each of them. So take your time, practice each of those options that are there to see how it affects this. Now let me just click on OK to see how our table is going to be now. So you can see that now the lines have been applied. So these ones are just virtual lines that are guiding you to input your information. Let's go to the print preview to see how our work is going to look like. So you can see that now our line is showing. So this is how to apply lines to our document in Excel. Now let's highlight our work again, because since we are not yet with what we want to do. We'll go to the numbers or the other elements. We are still under the borders. So this about the borders. So let's come to what the field. The field, maybe we want to apply some color to the background. That is what we call the field. So we have no field. If you don't need it, just click on the no field. If you want to use color for your background, then you can decide to select the color that you want. I take this one. This is the sample. So this is how my color is going to be. So I only click on it, select the color, and click outside. The yellow color will pop up at the background for me. Now let me add it again. Then let's talk about the other field. We have more field. If you want to see an effective, you can use two. If you want two colors, you can go by these two. If you want to change, should it be diagonal or vertical? So the vertical diagonal up, from center diagonal down. So how you want it to be, just let me just say the vertical diagonal. So you can select two colors, white. You can say white and blue. I don't want the white and blue. I can decide to take what color. You have to make sure you take note of the color of your text before you pick a background color. But when you take something that is similar to that, you won't see the text one. So I think white and this thing can go by it by what I have, because I have green over there. So let me just click OK. OK again. So you can see what I have. This is how the apply changes to the work, how to format our work. Now let me highlight it and let's deal with the pattern also. We go to format cells, then under the field we have what we call pattern colors. The patterns are like particles or other textures that we deal with. So that one is different designs. But what color do you prefer to use for that kind of texture? So let me just take this one. So you can see how the patterns are. Here they are like some lines and other objects. So how you want the design should be, just pick the one. But the color we want to use for it is this color. So let me just put on to light. So you can see how the sample is going to be. This is how it's going to be. So it's like lines. Click on it. That's what is going to be at the background. So you can use this way or you can use the other format. So how you want your work to be, you can just go by designing a nice work so that anytime your viewers see it, they will see that yes, this is a standard or a professional one. You don't do anything too complicated so that when a viewer is looking for any information or find it difficult to do. So you make sure that your work should be attractive and also clear as well. So now let's move on to our next thing. So since we are able to apply these lines, there's one thing also that we have to watch. That is the header and footer. Header and footer is one of the things that is also help a lot in Excel. So the header and footer, as I said, before I move on to this header and footer, all these things that we did here by applying the font color, we can highlight the work and do them from this angle, that is under the home. These are also the borders that we have here. If you want to apply the lines for it, This one, you have all the lines that are here. You only have to highlight it and do it one after the other, which is something that can also take you time. But when you select all borders, meaning it's going to fill all those aspects for you, to fill these lines around where you've highlighted. So that's how it goes about. And if you want to take one aspect of the border out, just you can see this one, the lines here, this one, the lines at the top. So when I click on it, the one at the down will be there. If I click on this, the top will be there in that order. When you select all, it will just bring all the lines around it for you. So you take note of them, of those things. The work that we did, which was the general where we were selecting numbers and all those things, we can set the percentage and all those things from here. We can do that without going through the format cells wizard. Same thing applies to this place also, where we can set the indentation. We can also set the font type, the font size, and the font style as well. All this you can do, changing the color. We've learned about how to highlight an important this thing in Word. Anytime that we want to fill any background, we can use this fill here to also fill the background as well. So we take note of that. What we did in Word is similar to that. This font and alignment is still talking about. It's just only where we have the number that is quite different from some of the things that is in Microsoft Word. Now we are moving on to another topic, which is how to set our header and footer. As I said, the header and footer, we have page numbering and all those stuff. So when it comes to insert ribbon, we have what we call header and footer. In Word, we've learned the header and footer. The header is you put information into the margin at the top of your page, and the footer, it should be at the below, that is beneath of your page. That is the header and footer. So we can put numbers or page numbers or all those stuff within our header or beneath our page. So when you click on this, it will take you to the properties of the header and footer, and you can see that your information has given you another detail of. So for the page numbering, using header and footer, we can also insert page numbers into our worksheet, so you can see how the work has been grouped. This work is more than one page, so you can see this another page. But what I normally like using is I like using the page setup for header and footer. This one we can insert numbers on top of it. You see we have on header page 1, page 2. I can go by this method, right? We can also insert date and time. We set this formula. This is the formula for date and time. When you go to the view to change it back to the other side, then you can set a page also. So the date and time and the page being part of it. If I agree with this, I can just double click and you see the date and time alongside the page, this page 3, which is closer to it. I can separate it where they are like supposed to be. This one rather have to be the page number can be at this place. Then this one I'll take the page number here off so that it will not be the same thing. And you just double click to confirm. So you see the page date is here and the page number is here. So when you come to this side also, this one is also having the page number. So since it's the same thing, you see the page numbers on them. So this is how we insert page numbers here and use it to do with the header and footer. But I want us to use the page setup. That is one of the tools or the command that I normally like using to set this header and footer thing. So when you come under page setup, you click. We have different pages. Before we go to the page setup, I want us to check our preview first, because it's go to print. Look at the way our work is. Our work is in a different dimension. You can see some of the work is not showing. It's only up to subtract minus 20. The multiplication and the all those division distance are not showing. So most of the time what you need to do is you have to check how is your work and how is it going to be designed. If you see that your work is moving from a left to the right side in that long direction, you have to make sure that you turn your paper. Your paper have to be in the form of landscape so that all the work can go. Because if the work is moving from left to right side while there is a space at the down, and you are just wasting the space at the down. So you have to turn your paper to landscape so that the paper and the work you are doing can fit to each other. So because of that, that's why we deal with the page setup, and we'll continue to use it with the header and what? Footer. Now let's come to the works. Let me just combine this and go back again. Now, our page setup. So we go to our page layout, page setup. To set our page, you can see this is where here's the end of one page. So I want us to change the paper to landscape. This way it was on subtract -20. Sometimes you see a breaking line. That breaking line, after checking your preview, you will see that breaking line here, which is telling you that that is the end of one page. And sometimes if you don't get a breaking line, you get something of this sort. It's also telling you that that is the end of one page. So let's go to the page setup. All the things that here are what we can use to apply for the page setup. That is the orientation. And decide to click on the orientation, the arrow there, and select with landscape. You can see that now the -20 is the damage. This one has also ended here. So this is another. And what type of paper? We can select the paper. Let's select A4. A4 is a little bit longer, so you can see it has also extend backwards. We also have our margins. So if you want to deal with the margins, you can go by the margins that are here. So I want us to quickly use the page setup wizard itself to do what we want to do. Let me just see what we have: the narrow, the margin. We have narrow. What the narrow is? We have wide. This narrow, so I can decide to make it narrow so that it can take more of the document or the text to the main work. So in that aspect is to reduce the size of our margin for us. I want us to go through the process of page setup itself. When you click on it, we have page. That is where we have the portrait. You need to turn the paper to the portrait aspect. The landscape will turn it to the horizontal aspect for us so that it can obtain more of the work that is here. Then we have the auto adjustment, the percentage. If you realize that now the percentage of your text or the size that is going on the paper is too high, you can reduce it from the 100% to maybe 95 or that, so that all can go on a particular paper for you. So when you come to the down, we have the paper sizes. The paper size is what I took at the top here, which is the size of the paper, A4. So when you pick your A4, meaning you want to print your work on the A4 type of paper. Now, if the work that you have here is long to maybe K or Z, what you need to do is to select a big paper so that it will be able to obtain all these work. Especially A3 is one of the papers that you can use that your printers can also print. So A3, that one will be able to carry you to a big, to be able at least that one will be able to accumulate all the work that we did here. So that is the work of the A3. So always you have to know how to set your paper. So if I want to go with the same A4, as for the A4 is the normal paper we use for printing. So you have to select how your work is being designed. It's in the form of landscape, so I have to select a landscape paper. The paper itself is A4. It should turn in the form of what? Landscape. When you finish, you have what we call the margins. The margins also, as I told you, we've learned in the word that the space that is being provided for the margin, if it is too much, we can reduce it. That should be the space around our document. So that is what's called the margin. So we can reduce it from here. If you realize it's too small, you reduce it from here. You have to reduce it from here and here. So the narrow is the exactly space of the paper or the margin that we have for this particular work that we design, because I initially took a narrow from where the margin is. So this is a narrow space. The 75 is too much, you can reduce it to a smaller size so that all the work can also go on it. So I can decide to do it this way. And for the header, the space that should be provided for the header is also supposed to be 2.3, and the footer also, that is 0.3. This one also 0.3, but this one the top is 2.25 as the margin space. That's from the end of the paper to where your work will start. That should be 0.25. But within that 0.25, for your header or the footer, we will also obtain or take a space of 0.3 space. The same thing applies to the bottom, which is the footer also. So that is how we used to set these margins. So the margin is the spaces that is around our document. Let's click OK and go to the file print preview to see how our work is going to look like. You can see that now our work is able to obtain or is able to pick more of our document. So let me change the paper to, you can also change the paper from here to A3 and see what is going to happen. You can see that all the work is showing on the A3. So you have to know the kind of paper you need to use for your work. If your work that you are doing is just a small work, you can select what? A4. But if it is bigger than the A4 size, you can select A3 so that all the work can go into it. So let's go back to our work again. When we go back to the size, because we select A3 over there, you can see it applied to the work here as well. Now, let me talk about the header and footer here. Header and footer is also here. I like using this particular side than the previous one that we set it. Now, this particular side, this line is representing the top of what? Your paper. So you can see this is the end of the paper, and this one is also the bottom of the paper. So this one is for the header and this one is for the footer. Now if you want to write anything into the header, you have to come to the custom header, then you put the information. If you want to also write something into the footer, you come to the custom footer. So let's try an example. We just click on the custom header. Now it has three positions: the left, center and right. What do you want to put into your header? If we have formations, this one is standing for the insert the page number. So I can decide to click here and put the page number at the right side. So when you click on it, with the formula, this is a formula that we use for page numbering. And this one also is setting of page number, but this one is going to be page number 1 of 10. If you have 10 pages and you are currently on page 1, it's going to be 1 of 10. But the one with the page, that one is only going to list page 1, 2, 3, 4 in that order. So let me just put this one as example so we see how that one works. This one, if you want to type, that's the format. After typing something, maybe you want to type it yourself. After typing, you can format the work from here. That's where we go to the font style, the font size, and giving a color to it. But I don't have anything to work on, so maybe I can change format the page number that I need, or maybe if I want to insert date, this one is for the date, this is the format for date, and I want to add time to it, I can insert it for here. Then also we can import another work into this particular header and footer, or if you want to import something like different files, we can also import them here. And we also have insert a picture. If you have a logo of the company, you can use your logo to also, you can insert the logo into any of these three sections where you can put the logo of the company there as your header or a footer. More than we put the logo at the top, which is the header of your document. So when you are done with these settings, you can click on OK to confirm it. You can see that what it did is showing inside your header column. So you can see the information here. Now if I want to do anything also for the footer, when it comes to the footer aspect, it's the same thing. So I may decide that no, let me put the page numbers either here. So you can put the page number here. And maybe I can put only date also at this side. And I'm gonna click on OK. So I'll get it here and I'll get it here. I'm good to go. Now what I need to do is finally to confirm all the settings or changes that I did. When I realize that no, I need to change some other things for the header, I can come back and erase the one that is here. Now it's left with only this and this. I confirm it. Then finally, if I realize that the page number is here, I can take one of them off. So let me just confirm that so that we see how it's going to work. Okay. So now I'm able to apply the page number and also header and footer to our work. How do we see that? We need to go to the print preview to see how it works. So for the print is, you can see that the page numbers are showing. This page 1. The date is here. The date is here and the page number is here. Another date is here. So if I have 2, 3 of these pages here, we'll change the next one. Will change to page 2. The other one will change to page 3 in that order. So this is how we insert page numbers. Then also how to insert header and footer to our work in Excel. So working with header and footer, we also talk about the page setup. So the page setup, always you have to know how to set your page. If your work, the work that you are designing is in the form of a landscape, make sure you turn your paper to be in a landscape. If it's in the portrait, which is a vertical aspect, make sure that you turn your paper to be in a portrait. So that is how you need to go about the page setup. And also, you inserting a page that is your margins. You have to make sure that if the space for the margin is too big, you can reduce it. That is the reason why we have the custom, we have the normal. When you look at the narrow, the margin around it is small. That is okay. If you want at least more record to go into one particular page, you can use the narrow. But when you use something like normal, look at the huge of space that is around the margin. So if you want to set it yourself, that's why you go to the custom heading to reduce those tabs so that a lot of your data or the figures you have will go within one particular page. So that is header and footer, page setup. Then the next thing I also want us to talk about how to protect the document. In Microsoft Word, we learned how to protect the document. It's the same procedure here as well. So you just go to your file. When you go to your file, you have what the info, where the info is. We have protect workbook. That's where I want us to talk about. So when you click on it, we have what mark as final. The mark as final helps you to be able to lock your text that is there, so that if maybe your keys or anybody is passing by and the hand just strike the keyboard, it will not add additional letters to what you have on your desktop. So mostly when you are done with all these things and you want to go and do something, you can just lock your work, so that if there's any pressing of anything, it will not affect the work. So let me just click on the mark as final to ask me, yes, I want to confirm, I want it this way. Okay. Now let's see, set an example. I click here, I just want to type something to this side. As I type that in, so it's not working. So these are at least whenever you are designing something or you are typing articles or any informations, you realize that you are to leave the machine for some minutes and come back. Make sure that you log the work so that any inputs that will be added will not affect it. When you come back, you can come and remove it. When you come to edit anyway, meaning it should allow you to be able to type any information into. So you can go to this place, or you go back to the same place again. Then you go to the info, click there. You can see the one that we picked, the command is active. So there's a shade around it. So if you want to take it, just go and click on it again. Now that it's off, when we go back and we type anything, you can see now the information start popping up. So this is how we lock and how to unlock our document so that there will not be any additional information by a strange person into it. The final thing I want us to talk about is how to um, protect it with password. How to protect it with password. That's where you lock it, you encrypt the whole work with password. So before I do that, since I have some additional work somewhere here, so let me just try and answer this. I just use this one because I'll be using that particular work for another lesson. So you go to the info, select what encrypt. Then when you have to use what encrypt password. So ask you, are you sure you want to do that? Yes. If you want to do that, there are some things that you have to take note of. If your password, you forget your password, then forget, you will not be able to what? Recover it again. So always when you are putting your password, you make sure that you either write it somewhere that if you are in need of it, you can go for it back. Or if you think you will keep it in your mind and you won't forget, there's no problem. But as soon as you forget the password, then you should know that that work does not belong to you again. So make sure that you take note of that. I'm just putting a password of 1, 2, 3. Then when I click on OK, it will ask me to retype the same password again. 1, 2, 3. Then I will click on OK. So if I save this work, let me just save it. It's supposed to be under studies. Save it as workbook 2. So when I click on OK, this work, let me click it here now. When I go to studies, I want to open, double click to open your folder. Workbook 2. When you double click on it, this is our work that we're doing. But the workbook 2 is requesting for password before it will open it for us. So we have to enter the password 1, 2, 3. Then OK. So it has opened it for us. This is how we lock our document, or how to put password on them. For this particular, when you forget the password, then forget the work. If you know that you forget your password, make sure you write it somewhere else so that when you forget, you can go back and look at it and put it inside. So take note of that. Now, the final thing that I want to talk about is how to print in Excel. How to print in Excel. So if you want to print your document, you have to know how to go about it. So in all, you have to go use your print preview, go to the page, click the file, print. When you get to where the print is, the first thing that you have to look at the layout. This is what we call a print preview. It's all your work within the margin. Everywhere that is within all your document is your work within your page. If you can see that some of the work is not showing, then that means you have to go back and set your page setup, the type of paper, and make sure that all the work should be within it. Or if you realize the work that you are typing is something that contains about 4, 6, 7 pages, then you have to make sure that where your page 1 is, your page 1 should be within the workspace. Then the page 2 should also follow. So by then that one, it will list them in page 1, page 2, page 3 for us. This one we only have one page, so you can see 1 of 1. So it goes in that order. So since it's only one page, meaning all the work has to be on it. If I realize that the chart where it is, some part is showing on the table itself here, I can decide to bring it down. So let me just go back. Where is my chart? Here is the chart. So I can bring the chart down so that it will not enter into that record. So now I'll go back to the file again, print. You can see because I selected that one, so it's only showing the chart for me. If I want to print only the chart separate, this is how it goes. So let me go back again and let me de-highlight it because I selected the last one. So if I want all of them, then that one I don't need to select back. In Excel, if you want only this particular file alone, the one you select is going to pick that one. So I'll be talking about that one. We go to the print, and you can see all the record is showing. So when I print, all this one is going to be on one paper for me. Now we have what we call the printer name. This number of copies. Number of copies means this particular book, how many times do you need? If I need it about 5 times, then that means I have to increase this one 5 times. But if I need only one, then I have to select it to 1. Then this is the command for issue. When you want to issue the command direct, you use this one. But before you issue the command, you have to make sure you apply all the settings, or make sure the settings, everything is correct before you press on the print. When you come here, you may have about 2-3 printers that is attached to your computer, or it may be on the network. So anytime you want to print, you make sure that you check the name of your printer. Each printer is having its name. So you check the name of the printer, select the name of the printer. If the name of the printer is this one, just click on it. So you click on the drop down arrow, select the name of your printer, then it will pop up here for you. So after selecting, when you issue your command, it's going to this particular printer. Because if you have about 4 or 5 floors and your boss is at the 6th floor and you the secretary, you are at the 1st floor, and you issue a command mistakenly to the 5th floor, before you get there, your boss will go through the information and before you get there for your paper. So always you have to take note of where you are issuing your command to. If your command is to go to your boss, then you just select that name of the printer that is closer to your boss, and you just, when you issue, you just pick it from there in itself or herself. Now let's come to the settings. We have print active sheet. So this is the active sheet that we have. This is the whole thing, the sheet that we have. This is the active. Over there we have about 4 or 5 sheets. So this one is the active one, but the one that we click on, the active one becomes a sheet that we click on. Where is the cursor? The cursor is on our sheet 1. So the sheet 1 will be our active sheet. This one is another sheet, but we are not going to deal with this one. The one we want is our sheet. So you just click where you want to print, which becomes the active sheet. You go to print. This is the active sheet. So since we have only 1 page, if you have about 20 pages, and that's where you can come here and see you want to print page 3, then you bring your command, page 5, comma 8, comma then so that you can say, okay, then from the 9 you just print what? Page 15. So you just jump to that side for you. That is how it goes. That will bring comma in between the ones, so the machine will just select those ones and to print them out for you. So that's why we call it the collision. So we take note. Then we also have what we call paper orientation, because we selected landscape, so that one we maintain it. We have our editor, we maintain that one. So what the settings are, we have also different settings there. When you say you print the entire workbook, meaning it's going to print page 1, sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, and that one. Let's go back and see entire workbook, meaning to print all the things that is here. Come to this one, come to this one, come to this one, come to this one. So the whole entire workbook that is printing for you. So you take note of that. So you should know the difference between the worksheet and the workbook. Now, when you come to this page also, we have what? Print selection, the way I did for the chart. So when you go there, I only select this particular one, meaning it's supposed to print only that selected one for me. So you see, print selected chart. So meaning that's what is showing you. But if I do not select any one of them, meaning it's going to print all the whole sheet for me, this sheet. If I want only the name to print from somewhere here to somewhere here for me, I only highlight this portion. Just go to print. So you can see print what? Active See, this is what is there, but that is not what I want. I want the one that I select. So selected what? That is print selection. So now this is where I highlight up to grid. So meaning it's going to print only in this one form. So this is how we print in Excel. So when you are good to go, or you think what the settings that you think that is what you want, the final thing that you need to do is what? To click on this button print. So let me see, I need the entire, let me go and take the select off because I want the whole thing to come out. So since I don't have a printer attached to my machine, let me just take a PDF. Let me just take PDF. Then I will change these settings to that sheet, so you should print the whole thing. I need all these things. Then I will just go to print. So I will say work. Try or lesson. So this is how it goes about now. I want to save it. So this one need to go in the PDF aspect for me. Just going to put it in the PDF aspect. So that's how we save or we print our document. This one is just going to be on the machine. The print command I just issued. It's only going to be in a form of PDF. So you take note of that. And when you are using the physical machine, just go straight to the machine. Always make sure that you select the name of the printer. When you issue the command, it will go straight to that particular name of the printer. So that is how we go about printing. I have one particular try with the one that's go through before we bring this Excel one to an end. Okay, here is it. Is it calculate the net salary of 5 workers in your company? So we learn how to. This one we are being given the salary already. Let's say we should do for 12% of the salary. So what do I do? There's some information, so let me expand. Let me expand this one so to see all the information. 12% of. So you have to follow the instructions and do the needful. We've learned how to use the formulas. I hope by now you should be able to know the kind of formulas you'll be entering here. So quickly, let's see how to look for the 12% tax of our salary. So you bring your equal sign. Salary for George is on what? B. That is what? B5. So you bring your B5 as there is what? 12 with the percentage sign. Any one of them that you use. 12% of salary. That is for George. You press enter. That is the 12%. So I can use the same formula, or I can change with the other decision. Just highlight. Have to use the copy and paste formula to complete the rest of the answers. So you can see the surname change. That's B8 as there is 12%, and B8 / 100 is the same thing. So let me use the same thing, but this one I'm going to use the / 100 here. So this one is also going to be B5. B5 stars 5 / 100. See, so when I finish, I only need to what? Use the copy and paste formula to complete. Here to saying 7.5%. You make sure that the 7.5 have to be there. If you put only 7 there, it's what wrong. So B5 after maybe that is 7.5. Any of the, you can use / 100 or slash 100 or the percentage sign, any one of them, so it will work. So that is the 7.5 of the salary of George. So use your copy and paste formula to drag the formula to fill in the answers that is there. Now we are being asked to look for the net salary. And when we are talking about net salary is you taking all the expenses that you made, or the expenses, you have to add all of them and deduct it from your salary, and what will be left, it becomes your net salary. So we bring our equal sign. Since we have this figure is the biggest, you have to bring that one first. If you bring your expenditure first, you are going to get a negative answer. So our salary for George is on what, P5. Then you bring your minus sign. So you can type sum after minus sum, bracket open. The first one is on C5. C5. You bring your column. The last one is on what? E5. You close it. So it's going to add from here all this information that is the answer that you will get to deduct it from what, B5. That's how we go by this one. First one is what, 188750. That is for George's net salary. Now let's use the copy and paste formula to drag for the rest. So this is how it goes. So these are the answers for the rest of them. Usawa, Shah, Fred, and George. Now, it's all the figures that we'll get here, the net salary, we have to give them ranking. We have to rank them. So to rank them, we have a formula that we use for ranking. So you have to take note of that. That is the only formula that I didn't talk about in the other example or try work that we use for the lesson. So this one, you bring your equal sign, rank. The formula also is known as what, rank. Then you open it. You only what? Open your bracket. What do you want to rank? We want to rank this figure that is here. If this person's own is maybe higher than whatever, you should rank them according to their numbers, their strength, or according to the money that is there. You should position them that this one should be 1. If the same number is there, it will give them 1 1. If that one, the same number is being provided, the same amount is like 2000, and they all falls under the rank of 2, is going to give all the two of them 2 2 2 2 in that order. So here we are just going to apply the formula, and the formula itself has to rank our information for us. So the first one, we have what? The first salary, net salary for Georgia is 188750, which is in F5. So I think our distance is not showing well. F5. So you can see that's F5. So you type in your F5. Your F5, then you bring your comma with your dollar sign. We are going to use the dollar sign. This one is quite different from we using the if function, so you should take note of you using the rank formula and using of the if function. So that is there's a difference between them. The if function is different from you using the rank formula. So take note of them. So now, quickly, okay, so as I was saying, I'm still on the rank since there's some error, so sorry for the delay. So, calculating for rank. When you are calculating for the rank, you enter your equal sign, and then the rank. Then the first portion that we want to rank this in the salary. So your F5, this one is on F5, so F5, then the comma. Then after the comma, you bring your dollar sign. Bring the dollar sign. F5, comma, shift. You hold the shift and press the dollar sign. Then you bring your F again and the dollar sign. Then you bring your 5. So how we normally do is, after bringing where you are starting it from, that's F5, now you need to separate it with a dollar sign. The dollar sign first, then you bring the F, you bring the dollar sign again, then you bring the number, which is the 5. Then when you are done, you bring your column. You bring your column again, that is the 2 dots. Then you bring your dollar sign again. Then the last one is what? F9. So you bring your F, then your dollar sign. As for the ending part, you don't have to bring it first. What you only have to do is what? You bring the dollar sign, and the last number is what? 9. So you can see by default it has shaded that portion for you. You close your bracket, and this thing has 5 to first one, that is rank, bracket open. So you position them into the rank F5, comma, you bring your dollar sign F5, the dollar sign, then F, that is F5. So this is how we go about it. When you're doing this percentile, so this one is on the 5th rank. So I'm going to do it here again so that you see everything. So to get your rank, you just type rank, open the bracket. The second person is on what? F5. This person is on F5, so this one will be on what? F6. So F6, you always bring the first starting point, which is the F6. Then you bring comma. Now you bring your dollar sign. You are going to separate the F and the 6. So to separate them, you use the F, the dollar sign. You bring the F alone. Then you bring the dollar sign again. Then you bring the 6. After that, you bring colon. Colon should be 1. Then your ending part is where? That is F9. Ending part is F9, so you bring the dollar sign. This one we have to use the dollar to separate it there, so F. So after the dollar sign, you bring your F, then you bring the dollar sign again, then the 9. So that is the ending part of where you are going to look for a rank up to. Then you close your bracket and press enter. So when you look at it, this one is the highest, so this one is being ranked as what? So we can also click on it, just drag to look for the position for the rest. That's how it goes. So that's how we look for the ranking. And we are good to go now. So we have completed this exercise. So when you are being asked to look for the ranking, you just go by this step. You press enter equal sign, the rank, you bring the first starting point, which is the F5, which is where your net salary is. And then it will depend on what they ask you to use for the ranking. So what they ask you to use for the ranking, you just go by exactly what you are being told to follow. Then the starting, that's F5. So after the F5, you bring comma. Then you bring your dollar sign to separate the F and the 5. So you see, dollar sign F is here, another dollar sign, then the 5. Then you bring colon. Now the ending is on what? F9. So that one also to split, that one you don't need to combine them. You need to separate them once. So you go to the dollar sign again, you bring your dollar sign, then you bring the 5, another dollar sign, then the ending number, which is the 9. You add it to it, then you close your bracket, you press enter. So when you are done with that, you just use what? Your plus which is the copy and paste formula. Click and drag to fill the rest of the portion. You are good to go. So that is how we do the ranking also in what? Excel. So we shall bring our Excel lesson to an end. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now. I hope you find this tutorial helpful and see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.